Everyone, welcome to the Friday, July 4th, 2025 edition of Speaker Co-working. I am Ron Story, the host of Speaker Co-working, also the head of membership at Speaker Hub. And this is our daily call where we answer questions about you getting booked on more speaking gigs and selling more products and services and things of that sort. So if you're a speaker anywhere in the world or an aspiring speaker, you're always welcome to join the call to ask whatever questions you may have. If you're whether you're a Speaker Up member or not, we would love to have you as a part of the family. If you're not a Speaker Up member, go to speakerhub.com and create your free profile to join our community of 65,000 speakers. If you are a Speaker Hub member, what up? Good to see you again. And we're here to help you to do more. Um, any wins so far? We got some people on. I don't know if anybody has any wins on this Independence Day. If not, we'll go into our normal ask me anything Fridays.
Yeah.
Lawrence, what's up?
Yesterday, I presented at the NAMI chapter I've been mentioning, and it went absolutely fantastic. I got
That's
a few
good.
more got a few more testimonials, and I've got more events coming up on the 8th and the 9th.
It's incredible, dude. Keep up the good work, man. You got to put in that time, man. If you're not, you got to get on stage, speak or speak, right? And if you know, hoopers hoop, as we used to say. If you play basketball, but you ain't never playing, I don't believe you. So speakers got to speak. AJ, what up?
So I got my first person enrolled in my course.
How cool is that? That's
Yeah. I've
that's a
had
good
I've
thing.
had several people take it, but I messed up some things. So I got the first person enrolled. So
Oh yeah, that's part of it, man. That's
that was
look,
dope.
you got to get feedback and reviews and comments. So if you're in the new Speaker Hub profile as a lifetime member, you should. Here's my advice. I would be trying to get people in to give you a review, to give you a rating on your course or your training that you've created, or your product or whatever it may be, so that you can um, start off with a running start. You're not just you know starting with nothing. You got some people giving you some feedback. So congrats to Kevin. I know Kevin got like speaker of the year or something from his Toastmasters uh, Toastmasters chapter. I saw that on LinkedIn. It's an accomplishment. Most people aren't the speaker of the year in their family, especially if they married somebody out talking to them all the time.
Oh,
So
I had forgotten about that win. Yeah, you're right. Speaker of the year. That is a win.
yeah, it's pretty dope. I saw it on LinkedIn on Monday or Tuesday.
Wow.
It's, yeah, it's a big deal. So high five.
And
Any
I'm
any other?
also
Oh, go ahead.
another win is I'm also the area been elected as the area director. So I'm kind of in charge of improving five different Toastmaster clubs in my area.
Oh, that's incredible. Cool. One of the best ways you can improve them is tell them to join Speaker Hub. I'm not saying you should.
And you know what? I will
I'm
be
just saying.
promoting Speaker Hub to them. I'm going to be weeding out of them five clubs. I know there are some that aspire to be professional speakers. So, with that in mind, as soon as someone leads me in that direction, tells me that they're going in that direction, I do mention Speaker Hub and I recommend it. Whether they show up or not, that's on them.
Oh,
But
no, no. I mean,
I'm always an advocate for this group because I think this is the best thing since I decided to become a speaker.
no, that's a big deal. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not Pablo Escobar saying plata or plomo. I'm not saying take the silver and take the bullets, but I'm just saying, you know.
Oh, take
But
off my gafas.
no,
Hey,
I think hey, look at that. Go ahead,
I
Adrian.
I wanna give a shout out to Kevin and Bonnie for going through my course, going through the training. Kevin gave me a lot of great feedback, and really it was just a thanks to this community because it was so many people that was like, "Yo, send it to me, I'll check it out," and they gave me wrote some good stuff on it. And then like me and Kevin had a private conversation of things that I need to fix. He was like, "Bro, you saying and you started off." You sound real country on one of them. You got real comfortable. And it was cool. And then Bonnie was like, "Hey, after let me know and we'll talk about it." So I just want to thank the community for being there and willing to go through it. So man, this is really it's a community.
Do you have your Loom account? Is it a paid Loom account?
Yeah.
Are you using the that
Once Kevin told me that, I took it out. I did use the I took out the filler words.
yeah, and you can go in and actually sometimes it doesn't find them in the right spot.
Okay.
So you can manually go in and edit the audio inside of Loom. And I found it to be interesting because it makes it look like a jump cut. And if you're familiar with videos, um, if you looked at YouTube videos from 10 years ago, jump cuts was the big thing, where a person would say a sentence and then it would cut and zoom in and zoom out. But it would be the same video. They just did a little bit of cutting to keep you engaged into it versus the screen staying the same the whole time and you kind of go to sleep. But jump cuts was that was kind of the big thing in YouTube videos, and it still is. I mean, it's a very engaging way to keep people's attention. So we come here and we look at. There was a guy. Let's do spoken reasons. I think he used to do it very well. Let's let Jadika in. Right. So let's see. You see that? That's a jump cut. What? No, I didn't want that on my video, but I didn't think he was going to say that. So again, I thought he was going to say something else. He said some other stuff, but you get the point. Is that there? Watch this. You'll see. You see, that's a jump cut. You see that? How it.
Mm.
So jump cuts are a way to keep the attention in the video that you're watching. And Loom has a great way of removing the filler words, but at the same time showing it as a jump cut because it just cuts that part of the video out. So you really can't tell unless the video is full screen. If it's in the corner, you don't even see it. It's hard to notice. But somebody just had their hand up. I don't know if it was AJ or Kevin or someone, but what's up?
That was me. I had my hand up because I didn't quite understand what Loom was when AJ mentioned it yesterday, and he said, Do you have Loom?" And I was like, "No, I've heard it mentioned, but I didn't know what it was." So I appreciate you explaining a little more because that's when I lowered my hand. I said, "Oh, he's explaining what Loom is right now."
Yeah, Loom is just video recording where you can record your screen and you can record yourself. And it allows you to, they call it like meeting reduction software. So a lot of times when we have bugs on the call here, I just record the Loom video of the person explaining the bug, and then I just send it over to the team, and it transcribes it, does the AI summary, makes action steps, all of those things like instantly, and it's $5 a month, right? Or it used to be. I don't know how much it costs now, but I think I pay $5 a month. Bonnie, go ahead.
Just wondering, I'm already paying for Zoom Pro and using the videos from Zoom. That's what I did in my first course, so those going to be adequate. I don't necessarily need another video platform, I hope.
No, I
That's what I'm
mean,
curious. Which
I'm just
one's
showing you
best?
different. I'm just showing you what other people are using. You can use whatever you want. There's no
Okay. I know it's
Does
good.
Zoom
It's like
Plus
everything here is just suggestions, right?
so
So
does
yeah.
Zoom Plus do the same thing as Loom? Which one do you think is better, Ron?
no, I think it depends on the purpose. Zoom is for meetings like this, right? Loom is for screen recording and video making. You can't have multiple people on there. It's just screen recording. You're just recording your screen or recording from your camera, and it's instantly uploaded. You don't have to download it, upload it over here. It's instantly live, right? So a lot of most of our webinars that I do, they're recorded on Loom because I can do the editing right through there. I can put calls to actions right on the web page. I don't have to download and upload anything. But there's no right or wrong ways. You can record whatever you got to record. I think the one thing that everybody should always take away from what we're saying is that, as my mom used to say, there's 100 ways to skin a cat, right? You ain't got to just do it this one way. There's 1,000 ways to do it. The key is that you got it done, right? So this is Ask Me Anything Fridays. This is what we've done now for the last 3 months. Wide open floor. I don't have no topics, no rants. I just got answers. Bonnie?
How do we know when our course has been approved?
Right. So when the course has been approved, it should send you an email and it will show up on your profile, right? So we're not quite ready yet. We got a couple legal things we need to take care of as far as the terms of use and how payouts and things like that will happen on the platform. But data wise, transition wise, all of that is pretty much done. We got the first profiles transitioned this morning. So we're like, okay, we just got to finish those up. And then we got a few legal compliance things I need to take care of on my side. Also, one of the things that we'll be talking about more is what's the purpose of having a course on Speaker Hub, right? Is the purpose of having a course on Speaker Hub to be your main place to make money? Nah, it's really lead gen, right? I would tell everyone most of y'all don't have a product problem, you got a lead gen problem, right? And if you could solve the lead gen problem, then you won't have any other problems. I've never seen a business go out of business because they had too many leads. Do you see what I mean? So I've seen businesses go out of business because they overpromised to those leads and couldn't deliver, like MoviePass. Y'all remember MoviePass paid $19 a month, unlimited movies? That's cool if you control the theater. If you don't control the theater, you can't give people unlimited movies for $19 a month.
I think that involved into Fandango.
Nah, that was before Fandango was before that.
Fandango is before Movie Pass?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I
Way
thought it
before
was the
Movie
other way.
Pass. And then AMC,
No.
since AMC came out with since they had their own theaters, they controlled the theaters, they came out with the Stubs program, which was the same thing as Movie Pass, but they limited you, I think, to 6 movies a month, right? Which is still a good deal at $20 because you're gonna go in there and spend another $50 on popcorn and Raisinets, right? But yeah, so if you're going, we found that most companies or most solo entrepreneurs have a lead gen problem. They don't have a product problem. Is you don't know how to get leads. So you go on a podcast and you send them to something that's not designed to convert into leads. So we want to make sure that you're getting leads and then you can sell them whatever you want in on your own platform, on your own Stripe account, things of that sort. But we want to be the lead generator for you. And we'll talk more about that and why that strategic decision is really, really, really important. But we'll get into that in a little bit. Let's go to Dave. Dave, what's up?
Hey, quick question, actually, two questions. One, Kevin, I put it in the chat, but you must not have seen it. I'm just curious. I'm a fellow Toastmaster as well. I was just elected program quality director, and so I'm 4 days into that role. But where are you based out of?
I am in the Denver, or more specifically, Aurora, Colorado area. It's where my Toastmasters is. Aurora, Colorado.
Oh, okay. Awesome, awesome. All right, and then the next one obviously is for you, Ron. And I'm slightly embarrassed to ask it, but obviously I was a member and still a member of PitchDB, a lifetime member.
Mhm.
I know you acquired Speaker Hub. It was good to see somebody on the screen when I logged on still using PitchDB. Can you tell me what the difference is between PitchDB and Speaker Hub? And is there a lifetime scenario that could be moved over to that? And what's the
Yeah.
difference between them, please?
So for those who were with PitchDB prior to July the 1st of last year, you still had access, people still have access to everything that they purchased.
Hmm.
Those who came in after July 1st, we turned off all of the speaking gigs. So
Okay.
all that they have access to is podcasts primarily,
Gotcha.
right?
Gotcha.
And that was a strategic decision to make sure that anybody knew that was speaking, we would put them over into the Speaker Hub world.
Okay.
Eventually, PitchDB will transition over into podcast booking software for podcast booking agencies.
Okay.
And that'll really be the focus of PitchDB.
Okay.
But anybody who's over there, you won't lose any access to anything you've ever done or any of the features.
Right.
It's just we're just going to change the marketing focus of the product,
Got it.
right? So,
Okay.
do you need a Speaker Hub account and a PitchDB account? No, they're the same exact thing
Okay.
with different logos. But
Gotcha.
we didn't want to have competing products where
Of
you
course.
sign up for one and one is priced differently than the other, but they're
Right.
offering the same thing. That doesn't make good business sense.
Okay.
So we didn't want to have anybody confused. We wanted to make it very clear.
Gotcha. Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. And so to get a lifetime Speaker Hub scenario, since obviously PitchDB is going to move more to podcasting, it sounds like.
No, it'll still be the same. I mean,
Okay.
you had a lifetime account beforehand, so you don't lose anything.
Okay.
I
So
mean, ask Kevin. Kevin hasn't lost anything. AJ hasn't lost anything. They've
right.
been with me for years, know,
Right.
and they got the same access to everything that they had before.
Okay.
It's just with a different logo because I don't want to just migrate someone's database just because they don't like the logo they're looking at when they log in.
Okay.
That doesn't make logical sense.
Gotcha. All right. That makes sense. And there's something called Speaker Hub Pro, which is an upgrade.
That's PitchDB.
Okay. I got you.
Same thing. We just
Okay.
put a pro on it. But that's
Okay.
going away. So
Yeah.
in the next couple of weeks, when we reveal the new speaker page and all of that, the whole Speaker Hub and Speaker Hub Pro, there won't be any more Speaker Hub Pro.
Okay.
That name will go away and it'll just be called Speaker Hub,
Speaker Hub.
right?
Got it.
We had to separate the two because they were two separate platforms,
Mhm.
and we didn't want to confuse people who had already been on the platform.
Right.
We needed to tell them there was something new.
Gotcha.
So let me give you a great example of this. Whenever Volkswagen, right?
Mhm.
Volkswagen makes 7 different car brands,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
But what we know for Volkswagen, how many people would pay $300,000 for a Volkswagen? Right? Nobody.
Right.
You would if they put a Bentley logo on it.
Mm-hmm.
Same parts.
I got you.
Would you pay $250,000 for a Volkswagen Tiguan? No. They put a Lamborghini logo on it. You do.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Would you pay $150,000 for the same car? No. But they put an Audi A8 logo on it. Same car.
Right.
It's the
Mhm.
same car. They just put a different badge on it.
I got
And
you.
you pay accordingly. So when we introduced Speaker Hub Pro, I didn't want them to think that it was the same Speaker Hub. No, it's totally, this is the pro version. This is the proactive version,
Right.
not the wait around version. This is the outbound. I'm being proactive about my career version.
Right. Mm-hmm.
This isn't the I'm just waiting on someone to come choose me version.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So that's why we separated those two things. Now that we've owned it for a year, that'll go away and it'll just be either you're going to be proactive or you're not going to be using Speaker Hub
Right.
because all the results come from those who are pitching.
Sure.
So from a reputation standpoint, we wanted to get rid of, I used Speaker Hub, but I didn't get nothing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We would rather you say, I used Speaker Hub and I didn't do nothing.
Right. That's what it is. Yeah.
Those are two different statements. One
Absolutely.
is pushing the responsibility onto us to make your dream a reality. And the other one is you taking accountability for your own goals and dreams and using the tools
Mm-hmm.
that we provide. A screwdriver has never built a house. A carpenter with a screwdriver has built
that.
many houses,
Yeah.
right? So we, as we like to say, Speaker Hub is a gym. It's not a spa.
Mm-hmm.
You
Understood.
get to the gym, you got to do some work. You ain't just going in there to relax and somebody go work on you and give you abs.
Right.
Let's go here, go get my abs today. Right? You get up out of here, you know?
Yeah.
So that's how that works.
Cool.
Does that answer your question, Dave?
Yes, sir.
So
Absolutely.
you don't have to change anything. You just got to keep going.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions? Ask me
Yeah,
anything.
I was wondering, now that you're still working on the back end of things, whether we still can continue building our courses and mounting them.
Yeah, everything that you're working on,
Mm-hmm.
it has no effect on what we're doing.
Okay.
So keep doing what you're doing. Keep putting your stuff in there. Keep working on all of those things, because that's going to, all we're going to have to do is just switch the domain and turn it live. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So keep going. AJ has his courses in there. I think John Diggs got like 9 or 10 courses he's put in there. He put an ebook, he put a coaching program, he put a bunch of things in there that are just pending for approval. So
Okay.
just keep going. I promise you,
Yeah.
you're doing the right thing.
So on the Speaker Hub speaker page, so there I've also put links to my courses that are ready to go from a different platform. So they just click there and it takes them to the school. And so,
So that will have to be manually migrated,
mhm,
because we don't have a space for that on the current platform. Does that make sense? So
mhm,
one of the things we were trying to do is to get rid of sending people off, right? Where we're sending them over to a different thing. We'll still have we got to figure out what to do with that. But right now we're trying to keep everything on one platform if we can.
right.
But we'll figure out what to do with that. We can still make that decision to bring those links over. We just need to create a space for it.
So those same courses, can I recreate them on the other Speaker Hub?
Of course, yeah, you'll be able to recreate those if you would like. One of the
Mhm.
things that I would, like I said, we'll probably create a external links page where someone can link off, and all the links that you've had before, you can put those into your external website or external links. That's probably a better move for us. So that, because we got a lot of people that have gold accounts that are using external platforms.
Okay.
Those people who don't have gold or silver, they're not allowed to put their links on there anyway. So we don't really have to worry about them. There's about 1,000 of you guys that have the gold or silver plan, that need those links migrated, and we'll figure that out. It's not very difficult.
Okay.
Make sense?
Right. Mhm.
Yep. But if you have something that's working on the current platform, keep it there. You know, if it's working and it's selling, keep it there. If it's just there and it's not selling, then I would encourage you to move it if you can, because then you can just save the money for
Mhm.
paying for an external platform where maybe nobody's engaging with you. And so, two things we want to do. The first thing, my first goal with everybody, whether you're on a lifetime plan and you're paying monthly, or you're on a monthly plan, just a regular monthly plan, my personal goal is to get everybody to break even, right? So let's say you're paying $100 a month for Speaker Hub just as a monthly user. Well, ideally, you could sell $100 worth of product a month and it's free at that point. Does that make sense? So now it's not costing you anything. So even if you financed it or whatever, once it's paying for itself, then now, we've done our job. But here's the one thing here's what I know. There are 1.5 million speakers in LinkedIn. For a speaker to make a living at the average speaking fee of about $3,000, they would have to do 20 speaking gigs a year to make 60 grand. I don't believe that there are 30 million speaking gigs. Is that fair? Am I wrong for thinking that? Or do you all believe there are 30 million paid speaking gigs available on an annual basis that pay $3,000? Right? So, with that being the case, somebody has to be the bearer of the truth, meaning that everybody won't be able to make a full-time living as a speaker just because they want to be a speaker. They'll be able to do it if they can find other sources of revenue from sharing their message. But do I believe that there are 30 million speaking opportunities paying $3,000? That means that speaking would be a $90 billion industry just in speaking fees. Bullshit. It don't exist. Sorry to tell you. But nobody else wants to tell you that because you can sell unlimited courses because people believe that there's unlimited capacity, but it's not. Now, do I believe that 1.5 million people can help 20 people or 200 people that they know? Yes. I believe AJ can help 200 people with what he knows. Do I believe that Frida can help 200 people with what she knows? Yes. Bonnie, yeah, she can help 200 people with anxiety. Dave can help 200 people be better communicators. I can do that with integrity. I can help you to do that with integrity. I can't say, Dave, I'm going to get you 20 $3,000 gigs this year, or whatever your fee may be. Let's say your fee is $8,000. So now it's even harder because I got to find you 20 $8,000 gigs. And I got to tell AJ, yours is 15,000. So you need 20 $15,000 gigs. I got them for you in Speaker Up. I'm lying to you. That's why we don't even lie to y'all about that. But does that mean that AJ can't go on 50 podcasts and get customers out of his podcast? Still speaking, but they didn't pay him for the gigs, but he can get the customers out of his podcast to join his coaching program, to put on an event with them, to do those things. Yes, that's a realistic business for a speaker, but trying to build it around speaking fees and making that promise to everybody is malpractice. Can some people do it? Sure. But that ain't my responsibility. I would do it for myself. If I could just hand out speaking gigs, I wouldn't give y'all nothing. I wouldn't. I asked my team this today because they just didn't get it, and because we get all the suggestions. Well, maybe we should just make it easier for them. If we just do it for them, I said, okay, let's go back to something, right? Janika, let's say your business makes $250,000 a year in profit. Does that make sense? Could I pay you $100,000 for that business that's doing $250,000 a year in profit? Would you accept $100,000 for a business that's doing $250,000 a year in profit?
I don't think so.
Why not?
Unless I was just ready to give up the business.
Yeah, unless you're tired of it, you ain't giving up that profit.
Right.
So why would I go and get people $250,000 and let them only pay me $100,000? I would have to pay $500,000 at least for that business at a 2x. Usually it's going to sell for 3 or 4x. So a business that's doing $250,000, you're usually going to have to buy that for $750,000 or $1 million. That's market value right now. You can put it in any business evaluate. They're going to make you pay 3 to 4 times the profit level of that business. So I can't profitably tell someone, make a promise to everybody who signs up for Speaker Up. Whatever your dream is, we're going to fulfill it for 10% of the price. But that's what the course sellers do. Why? Because there's no accountability. They're not held to a standard to say, if I don't get it, you give me my money back. But that's what y'all do to us. Right? You sign up, you don't send the pictures. And I'm just talking out here, just in general. They sign up, they don't send the pictures, they dispute 6 months worth of charges because they didn't do any work. Like, what are y'all doing? Who wants to be in that business? So you know what we do? We just keep raising the price because the people, they don't want to pay it. I ain't about to try it and not use it. So let me just leave this alone. Cool. Perfect. Let me just scare you away. You know, Dave, what's your dream car? Yep. Yeah, we can't hear you. Yep. What's your dream car? You're muted. We can't hear you. You got to unmute.
I got to be honest, Ron. I don't have a dream car. I
What's
am. I mean, I could say a BMW, but I actually prefer not to be noticed.
okay. What's your dream house?
Oh man, a beautiful $500,000, $1 million home on $500,000 in Atlanta, you can get a nice spread. That's not like a lot of money, but someplace with a lakefront in a gated community with a not just somebody who you got to swipe a card. No, I want a person to come out and wave you in. That's my dream. Dream.
I got you.
Hmm.
Have you been looking at those?
Yeah, I have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Now, let me tell you why that's important. And this is really good. For those who feel that it's attainable, they go and they look at it and they make the dream reality. They go see, what does it feel like? Let me try it on. Let me see how much it's going to cost. You done the financing. It's going to be $3,000 a month on 6% interest over the next 30 years. I'll be able to pay it off. My pension will cover this. My 401k will cover that. He got it all worked out because it's a real dream. But most entrepreneurs don't have a dream. They have lottery tickets.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm going to try this thing. And if it don't make me rich in a week and I don't hit the lottery, I quit. I mean, I'm just being, Zoya, nice meeting you. You want to introduce yourself before I get on this rant? Zoya, you still there?
Did you say Zoya? Hi guys.
How are you? Where are you calling in from?
I'm cooking for my dog, so I'm not like really.
Oh, no, it's all good. Tell us about what you speak about and where you're located.
Hey, I'm located in the East Coast, and I'm talking about the emotional intelligence on top of I have my own women's community to protect their emotional stages after the domestic violence.
Okay. No, that's really important work. You keep doing that, okay? We need your help.
Thank you.
I'll let you get back to cooking for your puppy. But do you understand what I mean? They treat our businesses, all of our businesses, like lottery tickets. I'll try it for a month, and if it doesn't grant me my 3 wishes, I quit. I'm not gonna do nothing. I'm gonna talk to Frida, and she gonna teach me about self-leadership. But if she don't lead me to make me, you're like, it's called self-leadership.
And it's called self for a reason.
Yeah, but it's your fault. It's your fault. I'm not leading myself properly. You supposed to, like, are you out? It's self-esteem. I can't fix how you feel about yourself. So we want to be sure that as entrepreneurs, we're not, and as speakers, we're not selling a genie. Work with me for a week and you'll be a millionaire. Scam. It's amazing how things that if I knocked on your door and offered it to you, you wouldn't accept it. But if I tell you it on a sales page in a video online, you believe it. I knock on Dave's door. Dave, if you give me $9,000 for my training, you'll be able to retire by August. You're like, man, if you don't get off my $500,000 lot, and I'm gonna have my security person who let you in my neighborhood kick you out.
I'm on the phone with him right away.
Exactly.
How did he
Throw
get
this
past that
knucklehead
sign
in
that
the
says
lake.
no solicitation? Yes.
Yeah, quit. I'm gonna come throw you in the lake, right? That's in my backyard, right? But we don't believe that in real life. But when someone puts it on the sales page, we say, yeah, that's what I need. AJ got what I need. Frida, oh man, if I could just get this self-leadership. And they're treating it like a lottery ticket. It's what I call the toll house problem. You know the Toll House problem? We talk about it all the time. How many of y'all ever had some chocolate chip cookies? Right? Now, let me show you this. Toll House chocolate chips, right? So what they got on the back of the recipe, on the back of the Toll House thing. They got that daggone recipe, don't they? Right? When you got them chips, you didn't know you needed a Arm & Hammer baking soda, some salt, 2 cups of margarine. You need all this stuff. But you know what Toll House gonna tell you? It ain't gonna work unless you got our chocolate chips. Everybody is selling the missing ingredient, but nobody wants to show you the recipe. The salt people, guess what they got on? Wait, what they say? 2 cups of all-purpose flour, right? What you think on the back of gold medal flour? What you think they got on the back of their thing? They got recipe to something else. So you went over there for chocolate chip cookies, and they telling you need to be making banana bread. You like, I'm confused now. And then you go get the Irish gold butter, and they're gonna tell you, hey, you need to be making pudding. You like, I got 13 recipes and 6 ingredients, and I still don't have the cookies I wanted. It's every course. And then you know what we do? It's just marketing. Marketers, you know what we do? We come over and we say, Speaker Hub, let me go to a page like this. I'll show you one. I mean, it's just how life works. Jadika, before you came to Speaker Hub, had you ever spoken before?
Yes, I had.
Right? So am I wrong for putting Jadika up because she's spoken before? No. But maybe we was just the last ingredient she needed. She already had the ability to speak. She already had the courage. She already had the discipline. She already had the business on the backside. But we was just the last ingredient.
Mm-hmm.
Bart, we was just a faster way to do it. He was already doing. Bonnie already had her anxiety stuff together. We was just the best alternative to the other things she was looking at. That's the flaw in any type of marketing, is that you're only going to see finished products. But everybody says, Jadika looks like me, I can do it. But they don't know it took Jadika 5 years to get to the point where she could confidently make this video and say, this is what I've been missing. Because she's been collecting flour and eggs and oil and sugar and butter and salt along the way. So when we show the speaker flywheel, guess what that is? Flour and eggs and sugar and salt and all the other stuff you need. But everybody say, no, I want the cookies. And I say, you ain't got no salt though. We're going to give you the salt. You got to do the PR stuff. We're going to give you the sugar. Go get on some pie. I don't want to do that. I just want this. Cool. Show me who your role model is. I want to be like Tony Robbins. Cool. Let me show you the salt. Let's look at his 300 podcasts he did last year. Let me show you the sugar. Let's look at his PR that he did. Let me show you the baking soda. He has other products. He got all the damn ingredients, but you don't want none of that. You just want the cookies. Quit and go do something else. Go get a job, because all the ingredients are at the job too. The person in accounting, that's the salt. The person in marketing, that's this. You got your one job, the DJ job. You ain't the program director. You ain't the person who owns the station. You don't put up the antennas. You just got your one job to talk on the mic. And you think that's all the ingredients it takes to make this station run. So you say, I don't need, I'm going to go, anybody got a job, they stupid. I'm about to leave. I'm about to go do my own radio station. Cool. 5 months later, your station out of business. Why? Because you didn't know you needed a program director, an antenna guy, all the other baking soda, salt. Baking soda, I got baking soda. We hear that on the radio all the time, right? we hear all this foolishness, right? But we don't realize that it takes all of these other ingredients. So when someone shows us the recipe, one of the things that I made clear at Speaker Hub is that we would not just sell one part. Either we would give them the entire solution or I would get in a different business. Because if I'm not telling you the truth, then you're going to say we failed you. But no, we wanted you to be able to say, I ain't willing to do it their way. Don't say we failed you. Just say, Frida, I ain't willing to do it how you want to do it. I don't want the self-leadership to need to get on podcasts and press and do association gigs and do 5 gigs a day like Les Brown did, or do 2,000 podcast interviews like Lisa Nichols did, or give the same speech for 18 years like Stephen Covey did. Just say you ain't willing to do it. But don't say that the system don't work. No, you wanted to make chocolate chip cookies just with chocolate chips. Right? Now, I'm going to show y'all something. I'm going to show y'all. I don't usually get into this stuff, but I'm going to show y'all something today. Right? Because last night, I was on a call with AJ. And while I'm on the call with AJ, Vivi comes out and she says, hey, get off the phone. Literally, is what she said. Get off the phone. I got something for you. And I'm like, You know, I'm like, what do you want now? And she says, no, the kids made something for you. They baked you a cake. Now, my kids are 8 and 3. My goddaughter's the oldest. She's 10. I don't trust her to give me a glass of water, okay? I'm just being real. I've seen her pick up ice off the floor and put it back in her cup. You ain't bringing me no water. Right? So, you know, and then another little kid was over. One of my son's friends was over. They said, we made you a cake. And I'm looking at this cake like, I got to be a good dad and eat this. Look at this cake. Oh my God. I look at my face like, I'm going to be on the toilet all week. Wait, y'all see this? Look at this cake. Look. Ain't no icing on that part. Y'all ever had a cake with peaches on it out the can? And that's whipped cream. That ain't icing. I'm like, boy, this is going to be terrible.
Did you eat any of it?
Well, I did. And I got that's coming up, right?
You're a good dad.
So I'm like, oh, this is tough. And Darren is laughing because he knows what's about to happen. He's like, yeah, he gotta be daddy. Look at my face. I'm like, shit. I ain't that excited about this, right? But they go ahead and they make me a plate.
It's what you need, bro. Have that on standby right here.
Right? Now, I'm judging the cake by the cover. I'm looking at it like this is going to be terrible. I saw these kids shredding up all this carrots and all this stuff. And I'm like, I know they just didn't put carrots in a regular cake for me. I thought they was making their own cake because every week they have some project that I never eat. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to break their hearts. They done spent their time putting together this funny looking cake with the runny icing on it. And the icing done soaked into the top of the cake. It looks wet. I'm talking about like this cake looked like it got Jello as the first layer. It's that wet. I'm like, I'm not about to eat this. And they gave me a piece that was about the size of this iPhone. And I said, oh my God, this is going to be terrible. And being a dad, I went ahead and I ate it. And it actually was a good cake. Right? And I asked the tutor who helped them to make it. She does like a cooking class for them every week. And she says, you thought it was going to taste bad? And I said, yeah. She says, no, I make cakes. They follow the recipe. It just doesn't look good because they put whipped cream. They chose whipped cream icing instead of a sugar-based icing. So the whipped cream, they put it on there while it was hot. So it melted and it just looks ugly. But it was actually pretty daggone good. Now, why did I want to show that? Because if you got the ingredients, you may not look on the outside like the best speaker, but if you got the ingredients, when you show up, people recognize, I'm familiar with this. I get it. I understand this person. I relate to them. I would eat another piece. I ate another piece, put some ice cream on it. It was a good carrot cake, but I looked at who was making it. And I didn't think about who was coaching them. You see what I mean? I didn't think about who was coaching them along. I'm thinking, who even turned on the oven for these kids? Like, who made this and made it legal? Now, a lot of us, we look like that funny looking cake at the beginning. We got all the ingredients. We just haven't put them in the right order a lot of times. We know we should be getting on podcasts. The first ingredient in the bowl with the cake should not be the icing. The icing is the last thing. But sometimes we buy a training that's too advanced for us before we need to be doing it. So the person told us, you got a $20,000 message, Kevin. Yeah, in 5 years. Right now, Kevin got to put the salt and the flour and the baking soda and the nutmeg and the cinnamon and shred up the carrots and scrape his fingers a little bit, shredding up them carrots. But in a little bit, he's going to have a carrot cake. And it's going to look ugly at the beginning. But I guarantee you, if I put 20 more cakes in front of my kids and told them and convinced them that they should wait and let the cake cool off before they put the icing on it, and tell them, hey, you put whipped cream on it, you need a more sugar-based icing that doesn't absorb into the cake. Give it enough repetition with the right ingredients, they can make a cake that all of you all will be proud to eat. Is this making sense? So y'all got the ingredients, guys. It's just we don't have enough repetition of putting the icing on the cake, so people don't trust us at the beginning. Or we got some of the ingredients, but we skipped a step. Right? Or we've had to make up for another step. Like cake in Colombia naturally is dry. AJ will tell you. It is naturally dry. Why? Because butter costs a lot. And we know butter is the thing that keeps the cake moist. Butter costs a lot in Colombia. So they make the cake and it's dry as heck. But you know what they put on it? A little bit of leche, and they call it tres leches. So a lot of the cakes in Latin America are all wet cakes that I hate because they had to put milk on it to soften it, or condensed milk as a softener, because they weren't throwing out the cake just because it was a little dry. They put some little sweet milk on it and you'll eat it. You're going to eat milk, cake and milk anyway. That's how they soften them up. Once I learned that, I had a different perspective that their cakes weren't bad, but they were doing what they needed to do to compensate for what they were missing. Does this make sense? That's what we've done as speakers. We've made up for little things. AJ was compensating for something, but then Kevin said, yo, you say a lot. Your information is great. Let me help you soften this cake up a little bit. Right? And AJ pulled out the thing. So, I got loom. I can put something. And Kevin like, what's loom? Right? So now they both done learned something new from working together. Is this making sense, guys? I just gotta talk about this because it's one of the most frustrating things that I deal with as the owner of Speaker Hub. It's people coming with 4 ingredients wanting to make a cake that requires 13. And when you tell them that they're missing the 9 other ingredients to get to where they want to go, they call you a hater. They tell you your thing just don't work. You had it for a year. You reached out to 300 people in a year, but you want a refund because it didn't work. Just say you didn't work. Just say you didn't do what you paid for 500 pictures a month. You sent 300 of them in 12 months. Just say you didn't do the work. Don't blame us and go to American Express, because I'm just going to send them the thing saying, here's the refund policy. It's been out there that if you sent your pictures and you didn't get invited, we will give you a refund. But if you didn't do the work, get back to work. Is this fair? No. Why am I talking about this? Because these are the private frustrations that we all have as entrepreneurs and don't nobody want to talk about on YouTube. They don't want to talk about how much we hate our customers sometimes. We love them because they pay us, but boy, the ones that are knuckleheads, we want to put them in a headlock and say, dude, this person, Dave, you ever had somebody that you was working with, a new person at the radio station, and you can't tell them nothing?
All the time. You know, they came in with their plan. No, we have a plan. You can't execute your plan over here or just stay over there. If you come work with us, you got to execute our plan. We're going to let you run with it. You're going to have fun with it, but you got to keep it on the tracks.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Why? Because the way that y'all make the donuts has been tried and true.
Successful.
For years. They got other stations around the country where it's working.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
We've worked with all the speakers. I know what they're doing. So we just saying, look, hey, look, I know that these people are doing radio and they're doing TV and they're doing podcasts and they're taking small gigs. I don't want to do none of that. Cool. You don't want to be successful.
No, I want to be successful. That's why I'm here.
Oh, no,
And
no,
the
I'm not
reason-
talking. Again, I want to make sure this is just me
Yes.
talking in general.
No,
I'm
no,
not-
no.
Okay.
I
want to make sure.
I just wanted to ride on your wings right now.
Go ahead, ride
because-
on it.
Yes.
Come on,
Let me
let's go.
ride. And the wind is under our wings. Anyway, so as a teacher all my life, all I knew was to follow a certain syllabus or curriculum or checklist. And then when I became a trainer, then I would have a checklist of how they need to do, because if you're looking at, even if it is software that you're teaching them, there has to be a checklist. And so I looked at my own checklist and I realized, oh, like you're saying, I had everything I needed as a trainer, as a speaker, but some things were missing from my recipe, from my checklist. And that's why I came here. And one thing that has been happening is when I follow your recipe, I sent in a pitch. We used to call them pitches, now it's Connect. So I sent out that first email. And then I got an email telling me, oh, the person you're trying to reach out to no longer works here. But if it is urgent, please reach out to so and so. So I picked that email they gave me. I sent it to this other person and I said, well, I reached out and I was told so and so no longer works here. Do you happen to know, our usual question? So I asked that question. And then they responded to me and it's like, oh, another person reached out to me. Oh, the person you're trying to reach out to no longer works here. But I am the director. And it was like, I won.
There it is.
Now I have a meeting with that person on Monday.
Yeah.
So apart from, being a testimony that this thing works, it is like you're saying, we come in or we are out there and we don't even know what to do. I have all these good things. I have all these evaluations over 30 years of people saying I'm doing a good job, but I want to monetize it. How do I do that? So I did not know how to do that until I came here.
I'm glad we could help.
So
And I'm gonna tell you
thanks,
something.
Ron.
Oh, high five. I'm gonna tell you something that you did that most people do, or most people don't do. they get that response and it says, this person no longer works here. What do you think they do next? Man, I sent out this thing and this one don't work. Y'all need to update y'all database. As if, hold on, wait a minute. Let me show you something. As if, you see here on this screen, can y'all see my screen? Now, y'all think I ain't thought about that? I'm gonna show you a hack. I don't know if you were able to do it this way, Frida, but I'm gonna show you the way how to handle this going forward. So let's say you get a response and they say, this is the new person. It is Bonnie Brindle at bbrindle@gmail, right? You know what you do? You come over here and you click this upload leads manual and you put in Bonnie Brindle, right? And you put bbrindle, whatever, right? At Gmail. And you, what's the company? Anxiety Avengers, whatever.
I sent a polite note to Raymar asking her nicely what I should do in this situation. And she said, just forward it to me. Because she's
They don't know
cool.
all the tricks either. It's just part of me being in it. And since it's out of my brain, it ain't all been deposited in their brain yet. But this is why
Right.
this is here. So that you can put it in as an individual or an association or whatever. And the AI, if it was an association you reached out to, you put it in as their new contact. And then now you follow up with them. And it writes the AI, it writes the email, everything.
Sweet.
Right? So now you got that lead over here, and now you know this person was from my leads, and I got the updated person. Now it doesn't update us, which is okay. We just want you to get the gig. Get the gig, figure it out. If you want to forward it to us, report that one as broken, like we do in the mailbox. You know, when you send something and it's broken, if you select it, you can report that to us right here. Report is invalid. When you click that, it's going to ask, info doesn't correspond to the person that I'm trying to reach out to. If it's something else, put it in there. Say, hey, here's the new person. We get that and we fix it.
Wait, go back. Where was the invalid
thing? That other email. Huh?
Where was the button to show that it's invalid?
Yeah, so once you're in the mailbox,
yeah,
and you are, because it has to already be sent. We don't want people marking things invalid where they haven't reached out to them. Does that make sense?
Right.
So once you've already sent it and you click on follow up, right? We used to have it here, but we thought that that would not be smart to keep that there. It would make it too easy for someone to mark a bunch of them by mistake. But when you click on follow up, it allows you to update the status here.
Okay. Oh, I see. Okay. Because some of them, the ones that have not the change in email address, but like this is no longer,
yep,
it'll come up with a little box that
so,
goes
yeah,
away.
but we give you the 3 options. Invalid
But
email.
okay. But they
Info
were going
doesn't correspond to the person I'm contacting, which means that the email worked, but it was just the wrong person's name on it.
okay.
And then other is something we haven't thought about, which is what Frida dealt with, which is the person no longer works there. We can't put all the reasons, so we give you an other. But the 2 most common is the email's broken or we got the data mixed up.
I'll have to look at it again then, because sometimes it goes away. Like I'd like to go back and do this, but you click the little box that comes up and then it's gone from the list.
Well,
Like
it just depends on if you archived it, because if you archive it, it'll be over in archive. But we don't delete anything. Nothing ever gets deleted out of the mailbox unless you.
Okay.
We don't get rid of anything. Even when you click delete out of the mailbox for compliance reasons, we still hold it.
Oh, so they're probably in archived then.
Yep. But
Frida,
you did the right thing, right? That initiative to follow up before you contacted us. Yes, that's what you're supposed to do. Why? Because she understands something called self-leadership. If it is to be, it's going to be me.
And that is so sweet that I can actually now take her information and put it back into the system. I did not know I could do that. So I've been creating my own spreadsheet so that I could upload it as a CSV.
Yeah, you can upload it as a CSV or you can do them individually. So that's what those 2 buttons do.
Yeah. No, I
Right.
like the fact that I can do it individually because instead of waiting until I can put it on my spreadsheet, I can do it right there on the system.
Exactly.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
This makes sense, guys. So we want to give you all the freaking ingredients so that there's no, oh, well, I forgot the salt. Nope, Ron thought about the salt. I forgot this. They already thought about that. It just removes all of the excuses. Why? Because business is already hard enough by yourself. And to be paying for something and it's not solving your problem, all this, you ever bought something and it causes another problem? You're like, this
Yeah.
daggone software solving problems I didn't know existed. Now I got to go buy this other thing. You're like, man, this is the stupidest. I wish I never bought this daggone thing. Right? We didn't want to be that. Right? So you spend. Here's what we found, real quick. We found that most entrepreneurs spend all. I had a young lady who said she had spent $170,000 on courses, trainings, and masterminds over a 2-year period. I couldn't believe it. I remember calling AJ and saying, man, can you believe this chick told me she spent $170,000 on trainings and that my stuff was too expensive? And she said, I don't have money to run any of the ads or to do anything that was in any of the trainings that I took because I'm still paying off the trainings. Do you know why we lead with just get the pitching? You know why? You notice we don't give you no training at all. We just say, hey, just start sending the emails. Because you're going to learn so much in sending those emails that if you get booked, you'll figure out how to give a speech. Right? But most courses, what do? They teach you all the stuff at the beginning, and how to get a customer is the last chapter. Pull up any course on business. The last chapter is Facebook ads and landing pages. You ain't never gonna make it there because they done confused you in the first 8 chapters. But if I want you to read those first 8 chapters, you know what I do? Get you a customer. Get you a customer that pays you. Now you gotta go learn how to write a speech. I gotta, Jasmine is a great example of this. I wish she was on here. Because Jasmine would say, hey, Ron, I started pitching like you told me. I got a podcast interview tomorrow. What am I supposed to say? I don't know if y'all remember Jasmine always asking it, what am I supposed to say on that podcast tomorrow? She had never been on a podcast before. Because she had never been booked on one. She was like, what do I say? And her and Bonnie became best of friends because they were both the over preparers back in January. They was just preparing. They was preparing but not pitching it. I'm like, hey, I get it, but I guarantee you will be prepared if you get booked.
Yeah, pitching works.
Right? But if we put it the other way around, as smart people, guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna default to learning mode.
Yep.
I'm gonna read another chapter. I'm gonna take the next level of the course. Let me get the next version. And then when I get that, then I'm like, oh hell, we not doing that. We don't get no testimonials if it takes Jadika 19 months to get a response. Just pitch. I need these responses now. We gotta they'll figure it out. They'll get ready. And it's their first podcast. They gonna be bad anyway. No matter how much they prepare, they ain't gonna have it all right anyway. Let them do 20 of these bad ones. They got another 400 to come. Does that make sense? Any other questions, guys? Anything else? I'm with 12 minutes in overtime. I think I got a meeting in 18 minutes. Hopefully this was helpful to talk about those. Actually my meeting's in 3 minutes if she shows up.
Okay. Well,
go ahead. Yep.
My question is really quick. It's just about, I remember you mentioning on the products we'd be able to sell communities. Now, does that allow us to have like a reoccurring subscription model, or is it one-time payment, they join?
No, you'll be able to do recurring. We just haven't turned it on yet. So we haven't turned on anything dealing with payments inside because we still got to get the legal documents set up to make sure before we have y'all, because I know humans. You allow them to take payments. Guess what they're gonna do? They're gonna take payments. Well, I mean, I just wanted to see. Nope. So you gotta put some training wheels on this thing because I know the
Okay.
human tendency. Because AJ said, "Hey, I got like 6 people in my course." And I'm like, AJ, in my mind, I'm like, what? He was like, man, I just want to get ahead of it. I got to get my reviews. I'm like, bro. He's like, but I'm like, okay, did they sign up? No. Well, he done clicked some button that just made all his courses free and to the public. And you don't even got to register. I'm like, hey, bro, what did you do? He like, nothing. 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 So it's just put everything. No more paywall, no more sign up. You ain't do nothing. No, I ain't do nothing. Little button that said make course publicly available without registration. Clicked on. Right? But that's the learning. The moral of the story is we haven't turned any of that on because we got to get the legal compliance stuff in place. With our lifetime members, we know that you all are a little bit more graceful than people who would be paying us up front, right? So thank you for all the feedback. Frida, Gustavo is grateful for the bug fix that you sent in the other day. We're listening, guys. Everything that you see in Speaker Hub is based on your feedback. If you've been around us for the last 3 years, you have seen that we've grown a lot based on the things that you all have recommended and suggested, and I don't see that stopping. So, Bonnie, what's up?
Am I on? Yeah, I'm on. Okay. Yeah, so wrapping the situation up here. I know, I get it. I get that the pitching, the connecting is everything. Not only for us to get at speakers, it's everything for Speaker Hub as the business.
Yep.
I am also hoping that I came to this with zero social media experience, right? Marketing in the analog world 30 years ago when I had a business in Massachusetts. Nothing. I know nothing. All the money spent, all the stuff. I want to have Speaker Hub and my personal website be the 2 main things that I send people to for courses, for source books, for the membership, all of it. Is this realistic when all the legalities and the crap is worked out?
100%.
All right, that's
100%. Here's the
that's what I'm
ideal
going.
situation, right? Again, most speakers are missing one thing, or most entrepreneurs, they don't have a business problem. Their products are good.
Mhm.
Let me give you a great example. Frida, can you make a hamburger?
No,
You don't. Can anybody in here make a decent hamburger?
I
Yeah,
don't
but I
even
wouldn't.
eat
Yeah.
hamburgers.
Right? Kevin, you can make a good hamburger? You think you can outsell McDonald's?
No,
Oh,
because
no.
I don't have the stores and all that. No,
Right?
can't outsell
So
them.
Capacity.
so that's a lead and marketing problem. Kathy, good to see you. Right? That's a lead and marketing problem, right? So what we want to solve is the lead problem. We want to make sure that you guys can get leads, right? If you don't have leads, when you go to you go on a podcast and you tell someone to meet you, or you tell someone to download the download or whatever you're offering, and they go to a page and they got to click 9 different things and it's not optimized. We want Speaker Hub to be that lead generator
Mhm.
where they can try you out, spend $15 with you or whatever. And then if they like it, take them off of that and put them in whatever else you have someplace else at a higher price, higher ticket through your website or whatever else. But we want Speaker Hub to be that uniform, easy lead gen platform. Does that make sense? So we want to be able to take you from, I have my expertise, I'm displaying my expertise to an audience. From that audience, I'm making a first sale or generating a lead. Everything that happens after that, we really can't be involved in. But I can get you from, I have an idea to a lead. Does that make sense? Are we going to design out Frida's coaching program or her curriculum for the for the students. We can't do that. We got too many customers to do that. But can I tell Frida how to consistently go from I have an idea to I need it in front of the right people, and the AI showed me the people, and then the AI wrote the email for me, and then they replied back, and I can see the emails, and then the AI gave me what to talk about in the meeting. And then I went to the meeting and I talked about that. And then I did the thing, and then I put up my QR code and they gave me my leads back. What else we got to do? I mean, we've done everything. It's like, yo, y'all
Sit
real
back and
quick.
eat the cake.
Yeah, exactly. Eat the cake, anime. I'm just, I want to be Ike Turner. I can't force feed you the cake. If you ever see What's Love Got to Do with It, you kind of get it. But at the same time, we don't want to be shy brother either. And we'll, Kathy, I'll get to you. I apologize. I know we got a meeting. I don't want to be shy brother from the 5 Heartbeats either. When his brother go over and say, you see my little goofy brother over there? His brother, let's run shy brother. I really want to talk to her. And instead of him going over introducing himself, he sent his brother over. And he over there making these little stupid faces. And he like, you see my little stupid brother? And then his brother leaves with the girl. What, guys? If I'm going to do all of that and then I got to close the sale on the backside, I can make an AI Frida. I can make an AI Kevin. I can make an AI Dave on my own and just make him a different name and get the money myself. I can just leave with the girl myself. I ain't got to hook AJ up. I'm just going to take her. Right? So any other questions before I got to be respectful to Kathy, unless Kathy has a question she wants to ask here. But if not, I can talk with her privately, and I'll let you all enjoy your 4th of July. Good to see everybody. Hopefully this was good. We got all the ingredients, guys. We just gotta get it all in the bowl for you. Cool?
Happy 4th, everyone.
Yeah, happy
Bye.
4th. Thank you. Appreciate you, Ron.
See you later, guys. Good to see you. Talk to you later.
All right.
Kathy, what's up?